There we go. Now we have sound. Let's try that again. Welcome to Airbrush Down Dirty Tricks Monday Night Edition, the wrap-up time. Wrapping up last week's holiday live stream. And it's Monday night. It is 8 o'clock. Yep, I've unmuted. I think we're good. Good to go. Yeah, for some reason my soundboard was playing the music. I had to unplug it. There's always something. Always something when going live. Chris Garcia, Avis Mendez, Adam 1978, welcome Brian Moore. What is going on? Jonathan Parsons. I saw Ray Shea earlier, saw a bunch of you guys in. Let's scroll through my feed here. Cool. Thank you guys for showing up on a Monday night. We're going to wrap this puppy up. And I finally got an answer to why we're seeing everyone's basically avatar name, you're at Brian Moore instead of your channel name. They're making a change, and it's actually going to be for the better. Because it is possible for people to have the same name for a channel. Like you can have two Chris Garcia channels, but you're at Chris Garcia, that is unique. And eventually they're going to start rolling out the ability to tag other people and reply to people directly and things like that, I guess is what's coming. That's why the change is happening. So it's kind of cool. Yeah, so stream looks good. We got the vertical stream going. We got that stream good. Everything's looking good. All right. Hope everyone is ready for Christmas. That's coming up really quick. Got a few more things to do here before we have our festivities at our house. And so with that being said, let's get into where we were. Let's go here. And oops, I gotta change my source so I can see what we're doing. This is what we got going on. Reference image. Let me move this camera around here. Change this up to a close-up. Alright, let me show you what we got going on. So this is where we ended up last week. Let me pull this off. This is the Joker skull, done as a holiday edition. For those who are just joining, what we've done here is years back we did the Joker. Well, not years back, last year and a half ago, we did the Joker gesture theme. What I've done this time is taken that theme and kind of mashed it up into a holiday theme. And what I did in Adobe Illustrator, which is the program I use, I took the two parts of the hat off, made it into like a Santa hat, moved the bell from, I think they had the dice before in the center, moved the bell, put the skull where the gem was, just changed things around, put the antlers on, made it a little festive on the border here. Instead of having the J in the corners, I did a snowflake and just tweaked it up. And it's a really cool way, when you have designs, you've done work in the past, and sometimes you just need a new idea. Doesn't have to be like 1000% original, like all the work. Sometimes it's just nice to take an older idea and put a different spin on it and kind of repurpose it. And over the years and years of doing it, you end up with tons of designs you can pull little elements or ideas from and let that kind of derive something new from it. So it's a fun way to derive work from your own work. Instead of always not always, but instead of people derive work from other people's work, take your own work and expand on it and derive new work from your own work. And it just keeps adding to your body of work. So before I get going, anyone got any questions, comments, suggestions? Oh, geez, honey, that is obscenely generous. Obscenely generous. I gotta plug my sound back in for that. Make sure it's working. Thank you. Appreciate it. This is an extremely generous super chat. Oh, and that's why, because this chat is not rolling properly. Hold on. Why is that not rolling? Sorry about that, guys. One of my teleprompter keeps disconnecting. So I didn't see that come in when it should have come in. I apologize for that. We should be good now. Hopefully. Get that rolled out. All right. In between calls, if something comes up, I might to the Irish accent. Honey, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Hope you have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year if I don't talk to you. I'm going to try to do a Phoebe for the New Year. We'll see what happens. I don't even know what the date is, so I'll keep you posted after Christmas. All right, let's get rolling. Let me get rolling back into this here. All right, so you can see, based on the reference image, that was the original guy. And last week we got to this point. We got everything. We got to work on the background now is where we're at. And there's a couple ways to do this. I want to keep this clean. I want to do like a background glow around him. Work the fire without getting anything on him. So, it's a little less. Oh, cool. Thanks. So, a couple ways to do it. I have a part of the digital download, and this file is available for those who want to mess with it. I have this as part of the file, so you can, take this and you can transfer tape it and cover it and get it super crisp, especially if you want to do a lot of work. Or, like I do a lot of times, I have the paper cut, which the paper is the same file. It's the same set, and this will actually give you a slightly softer edge. Now, when you hand cut it, you might be a little off here, and then depending on how exact you are, but that can all be rectified easily. So I'm just going to use these neodymium magnets, and that'll magnetize to the steel panel underneath. All right, we got our paint mixed up. We still got. Do I have my wide shot here? No, I do actually. Number 4, number 5, number 4. There we go. So we got our paint mixed up from last week. Very nice. Basically, what I did just to see if it would work, I put a piece of cellophane. I put just another plate on top, and this stayed good all week, just as it was. Gave it a good mix up, and before I put it in, just in case I saw a little skinning on there, I'll strain them into the cup is what I'm going to do. Alright, so I want to get a little background glow. We're going to keep this fairly simple. We're not going to go too crazy here. A little fire here. I keep going with blue. Someone had mentioned teal last week. I didn't mix up any. But I can maybe do a little teal. Maybe I'll do blue out here. We'll do a little tealish blue here, and I can mix them with what I have already. I can mix the yellow and blue together and get teal on the fly. You don't always have to mix every color. You can intermix as you go. All right, so we got the blue here, and I just want to kind of get a little glow behind him. And we're just gonna. I was going to do fire and smoke. I just like the idea of this kind of snowy glow. Like, I don't want to do something that's too busy. I just want that kind of nice glow behind them. And just kind of keep it a little understated. Just kind of like a radiant light going up. How's that sound, everyone? Does that sound good? And you'll see this, even though you can see this moving a little bit, as long as you keep your brush straight on, you won't have any problems. I'm just going to do a little flick for the snow. What I'd like to do, I've done this before, let's do like a big bright star, a couple of them here. What I want to do is just do this. And put the tape just almost next to each other, super fine pin line. Don't pull that off. See, super thin. Crisscross it. Same thing there. I'll do another one I messed that up last week. I got a little blowout there. I want to fix. Look what's happening. Yeah, I was on Steve's feed as well. It was a fun little feed. I missed the end because I was setting up for this. Hope it ended up well. I went to call back in. I missed it by like 2 minutes. But okay. So I'm just going to take the sting out of these. Look at that, super quick. Make that a little glow. Well, let's see what's going on. Alright, so nice glow there. We're going to make this blue glow here. But before I do that, because I like the teal idea. We're going to start with blue, and we're going to make it teal in some spots. And I'll show you guys how to do that with a limited palette. Oh, very cool. Congrats on getting that done. I've already strained these, so I'm gonna go blue. I'm gonna do blue and teal. So remember, there's already a blue pearl background here. Oh, I gotta get the antlers need to have a glow. You know, we'll have like the antlers like being part of the glow. Like they're magic or something. Gary, see what's going on. Alright, so we're gonna get our blue here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to go, because I keep forgetting with the horizontal view, the split screen doesn't work too well, so. So watch, we got that blue. Like I said, we're going to get some teal in there. So I want to get all the stuff I did, like a blue glow. So I want this first pass, just like doing fire, I want this black background blue to be the darkest. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to re-white everything in the center. I'm going to keep it a little tighter. Get a little tighter. Same thing with these. We'll pull these out a little bit. A few more little stars. I'm going to make this. Let's make this blue teal by adding a little bit of yellow to it. I'm going to reduce it a little more. now I got a nice kind of teal color. See that? I'm just going to go a little lighter. And now I'm going to hit teal in the center. That's just going to be nice. I'm going to actually go probably more teal as I go, but I like that. So now we can do, should be able to pull these off now. Oh, surprised someone can get a nice Mickey original here. Oh, okay, original Mickey. It's Christmas, people are tight, I get it. Alright, so I'm going to take this teal now. I'm going to kiss it just over the skull, just like I did when I did the original one. I'm looking at the main light source of this. And I'm going to hit that. And it's also going to hit this side of the eye here, a little bit here, a little bit lower in the cheek. I'm just putting a little bit, I'm not doing too much right now, because I still got a lot more to bring out. Just kind of setting the stage. I want to be real careful because it's going to get really green if I do anything here. Alright. Like I said, now I can get these horns. Remember, these horns, we're going to give them a lot of energy coming off them. Like maybe we'll do some like... So broke it can't pay attention. Yeah, I get that. So get a little brighter there. Let's hit in here in the center. Let's bring out find it handy somewhere. Where's my pocket pyro? The one I want's not here. Oh, here we go. Alright, so now I'm going to tighten up this fire a little bit. Just like the reference fire. So it gets right in the center. We're going to tighten this up. Now it starts to look a little bit more teal. Alright, now this white is a little thick right now. You know, I do this a lot. So this is my HPC Plus. So it's obviously a little thicker needle. I'm going to use this thicker for coverage. I'm going to make a thin version in my micron for doing really thin details. Get that up there. Because I want to make a lot of things brighter. So I'm going to take my old Takumi micron. Now whenever you go in detail, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put reducer first. I'm going to do 2 droppers. Do that. Then I'm going to take my 60/40 white. This is stuff I mixed a month ago. So the benefit to running it through the strainers so many times, and then putting a shaker bead in here, And the glass bottles actually do help too, because plastic does let solvent through a little bit over time, whereas glass doesn't. So now I'm going to do a full dropper with that. You know, I want to do 2 and 2. And I'm going to try to find my cap. Oh, there we go. Jesse, what's going on, brother? Welcome. Merry Christmas to you too. I hope you and the family are doing great. You and the boy and the wife, hope everything's good. All right. Let's do a little. Hey, Jesse, what's going on, man? Good to see you. All right, let's pop back out here. This. All right, so this is my thinner white. So this stuff, you can see it's really thin. So if you don't move and you pull back, you're going to get blowouts really easy. But if you move, maybe drop the pressure a little bit, this is where you go in for detail. So I usually try to have a couple whites. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to start brightening up areas where I want a lot of light hitting. Like obviously a lot of light's going to hit this edge of the cheek. Okay, because the light's coming up. It's going to really hit heavy there. This tooth is going to get a lot. Understand that light source. It's popping here, it's popping here, it's popping here. It's pretty much, it's behind this, so it won't hit that. This is going over it, so it'll be a little brighter. We'll get a little bit here. This is also a good time. See if you got any gaps here. So where my registration was off, this is where it's twofold. It takes a stencil lookout by freehanding that in and hides that gap. See that? Gone. Really punch out that chin. It's like the Bruce Campbell chin. That tooth white, and just see how that, even that little bit, starts to really make it look good. It starts to really give it dimension. And this is the stuff I'm really gonna cover in my Airbrush Days class and workshop that we're doing. I'm gonna be doing an automotive graphics project, so that's gonna be tape out. The old school flames and some pattern work inside. So that's gonna be one of the projects. And then we're gonna do an illustration. We only have like 4 hours, so it's not gonna be crazy, but I'm gonna talk about stuff like this, about when you stay in, when you focus on being impactful in certain areas, a painting comes together pretty quick. Now, a good friend of mine asked me the other day, he's like, "Oh, I've been painting, forever, as long as you, and I don't have tons of wall art and stuff in my studio," and because he's always busy painting. That's great. And the reason I have so many pieces is I've spent years doing classes and workshops, but being a t-shirt painter gave me speed and how to pull together a fun, impactful painting quickly that sells well. So that's kind of one of the things I'm going to go over as well in my classes. Is, working on what's important for the job, financially, as well as, obviously the artwork, quality. But, you got to be careful not to put so much time into a piece that you're not getting paid for. Unless it's your own piece, obviously. But, basically, if you got a customer, if you got a budget that's kind of weak, you want to focus on, pop and those details, and they're going to help you get to a project really quick. Okay, so then we go here, I'm going to do one more pass on this. Then I'm going to pull the horns. And I'm going to start detailing this. And it's going to come together pretty quick. Now see, now you're putting that song in my head. Thanks, Brian. Thank you. My father used to sing that song. There we go. Alright, let's take this ad down. Sorry about that. Reference image back up. But when I think of that song, I think of Fallout 76, because it's always, that takes place in Appalachia. There. Alright, where's that teal? Okay, so we got some teal mixed up here. I am going to be really careful not getting too much teal in this red, because you're going to get like kind of gross color. I'm going to make this a little bit more teal, so I'm going to add more yellow to it. And I wish I don't, oh I do. I got some transparent base here. And this is 4004 transparent base, which will make it a little more transparent, so I don't lose the body, but I get the transparency. So it almost acts like a candy without all the dyes and stuff. Alright, so now we got closer to a green, but over this blue we're going to get that nice kind of teal color. See that nice little teal? And I can afford to get a little bit more on him. Who was it that said teal last week? Was it you, honey? I should look up. Get a little bit of teal in these eyes. Cool. I think it's working out. All right. Yes, West Virginia is a beautiful country. I've luckily seen most of this country and been to so many parts of it. My dad loved driving, my mom loved driving, so we travel most of the country. And there's a lot of good stuff to see. All right. Horns. That's pretty simple. Where is... Keep doing this, keep dropping this. So there's a couple horns. This part of the antler, I keep saying horns, should be saying antler. This curls off, so I want to obviously pull this first, and I want to highlight this so it gives it lift above this. Because I want to keep these horns almost black. And same one here, same thing, okay? So I'm going to do, oh, before I do that, I'm going to get this a little whiter again. So I want that glow to be crisp. Now, So I think I'm just going to hit those. Oh, you weren't on last week. Okay. Someone mentioned teal. I forget who it was. So I'm just going to hit this very softly, because I want that to pop over the back. I'm going to keep these horns, these antlers, very simple. Maybe a little texture. And that's it. I'm going to pull this one here. Same thing, because it's got a little bit of hook. And I could add that in after, but... Alright, so now I should be able to pull these off. See, by establishing that, that gave that horn, that antler point to be in the foreground. How would you do a laser beam? You know, probably the best example, similar exactly what I'm doing. I do the outer darker glow, just like fire. And then I work in the color, and then towards the center or the blaster, it would be, you know, more white. Probably the best example, Brian, if you go back to my Darth Maul painting, when I did the lightsabers, that had a lot of that. Okay, so really simple. Core highlight. Like there's a little bit of glow coming off them. See how just that little bit went from this looking one-dimensional to three-dimensional? Just by putting that highlight in the right spot. Keep them dark to slowly thin. This is my thin white. This is my really thin. So I'm moving a lot faster. Do a little bit of texture. Because, you know, antlers aren't really smooth. So do little just indications like it's picking up edges of creatinine. Is it creatinine that horns are made out of? I might be getting my term mixed up. And you can also take a template like this. Look, I'm going to come down here. I'm just going to put that, because I want to do what's here. So I'm going to come down like this and just do a downward stroke off that. And see how that just gave it a lift? We'll do it again here like this. Then we're going to follow that template right down. Nice. And the same thing here. The opposite. I'm going to put so many names, I know. Alright, let's pull all the masking off. I think the only thing I'm leaving right now is the match. Yeah, the antlers just, you know, I think they're a lot better being left black than if I was doing like, you know, normal, you know, antler, like bone material. You know, that tan, brown. I want them to have that kind of glow. This probably could have had a little more glow, but that's alright. I want to get some plastic razor blades here. So now I can just take these plastic blades. These are better. These are scrape right blades. These do a great job. I've been using them for decades. I was probably one of the earliest ones to turn the airbrush community onto, and we use them in the sign industry forever. Yeah, back that up just a little bit. There we go, so you can see. And as far as whatever's on the market, the scrape rights I've always found to be the cleanest, the nicest look. They're sharp. They don't dig in the material. They hold up really well. Coast has been carrying them forever. There's some knockoff, I don't want to say knockoff, there's a bunch of alternative brands. A lot of those ones I've found, they don't keep an edge. They're very bendy. These I've always had great luck with these. Yeah, I like the snowflake, that looks cool. And see how I can just come in like this and it's not scratching the paint. That's what's nice about using these ones. Are you going to do a paint marker border? I don't think so. No, I think I'm just going to leave it like this. And, you know, I think I'm going to put a little bit of extra glow in here. I want to get this done. Really white hot there. Mr. Leahy, what's happening? They don't work that well for shaving. No, they don't. Good for practice. There's a little bit of that teal glow in those guys' eyes too. I'm just going to kiss over this with a little bit of that teal, just so they kind of blend in, and then I can have the white highlights kind of go back over the top of them later. But now they don't have a bright white. Alright, I'm digging this one. Now it's time for detail, punching out the colors. Let's grab, you know what, let's bring out the CMC Micron. Haven't brought this guy out much. I'm going to take that teal color. I'm just going to make it up as I go. I'm going to start with the reducer. I'm going to take the blue and add that blue. And this is what we're going to use for a lot of the detail. And then we'll darken it as we go. Alright. Freehand time. What's the matching bev? Oh! Tennille Fairlock. The beverage for tonight is Maker's Mark. Nothing crazy, just a little libation. Thank you for asking. Forgot I was there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually, and I just dropped my cap. Oh, I got stuff falling everywhere. No, I don't have any whisk pick up here tonight. I have some in the chest downstairs. Alright, so what I'm going to do, I want it just a hair darker. So I'm going to take my illustration black, and I'm literally just going to put 2 drops in. Just gonna make it a little darker. Just a hair darker. Alright, let's start doing some details. If my brush decides to work. Von Payne Black. Yeah, that sounds interesting. I don't think I've had that. I will look into that, sir. Thank you, Adam. Von Payne. I'm always up for something new. You know what? I'm going to darken this even more because I want to get to the details. Let's go a little darker. And I'm going to add just a touch of green. Alright, so now I got like a dark kind of teal green color, okay? Because when I did the original one, if you remember, I did like a greenish black there. So I should be doing the same thing here. Work in there. There we go. So I'm going to start by darkening the most impactful things. Get these teeth sockets done. Remember I said once I know it's flowing good, that's when I go in the teeth. Because once you know it's working, oh, you know what? I gotta brighten this up a little bit. Sorry. Here we go. Let's brighten that up. Once I know the black, the details flowing with the teeth, I'm going to go in and get that done. And if it's not, I'll move around the painting until I know it's working right. Then I'll go in. The teeth, just get them done, especially live on camera. It's not fun having blowouts or problems on camera. I've done it. out and shade a little bit more. Crack there. Can you please zoom in like Steve? I can zoom in a little more. Let me pop over to camera 2 and get a little tighter there. Should be better there. Back off the shade a little bit. So what I do a lot is I go in for detail lines like that, then I pull back and shade. I'm going to come in, detail like this. I'm going to pull back and shade. Let's see if I can get camera 1 zoomed in a little better. It's a little darker. Let me see. Now it's too dark. There we go. So the issue when I zoom, it changes the lighting profile of the camera, so that one's not going to work. A lot of the times you got to plan ahead for how zoomed in it's going to be. See that camera, to get zoomed in, like Steve works in a very small size, so you can set the camera up ahead of time for it, whereas I work in a bigger. It's hard to have kind of everything set up for both. Because when I go in like this, it gets a little bit exposed different. Let me see if I can change the white balance. There we go. Let's do that. Now I can zoom in. This camera is set up better for the shot. The cool thing about this one, if you go back and watch the other Joker video, you'll see all the similarities, what I'm doing here and there. So I can go a little faster on this one. The other Joker was obviously a lot more thorough because we did 4, I think, at least 4, 3 feeds, not 4. Crack one up here. Really starting to punch those eyes out. And again, this is still kind of in the mid. What's going to happen as we get to the end, those final highlights is what really brings it all together. And final dark. So I can add more black to this. And remember, most artists' big mistake, when I was famous for it, when I started out, or when I transitioned from t-shirts into automotive and illustration, I was going too dark too fast, using black that was too strong too quick. When I learned to kind of stay in the mid-tones a lot longer, sorry about that, you know, my work got a lot nicer overall. I'm going to zoom back out and change. That's why I need a camera guy. Steve, you out? Thanks, Steve. If I don't talk to you, have a Merry Christmas, brother. So I want to show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to start darkening areas. So I want to push the back teeth back further. See how that quick? And by working with shaded paint versus really opaque, you have 3 to 4 or 5 passes to get to that kind of maximum where you want. Well, you can go 6, 7 passes. It's really a preference thing. I know guys that work like dozens of passes to get to full opacity or whatever the full color is that they want. Skull guy here. What I do is I really want to get a shadow from this. To bone look of the skull, I can't. A natural bone look's a totally different painting. If I talk about that now, it'll just derail this project. Next time I do a skull one, we'll go into it, and I've done it like this before. What's this guy here? Like this one here is more natural colors. It's really staying, it's all the same techniques, just I'm using blues in here. Here you want to use really weak brown blacks, maybe a little purple tint to the black or a little yellow ochre, things like that. And then obviously, you know, this has some texture effects. It all has a lot of erasing in there. You know, it just depends on how you want to do it. But we've got a bunch of videos on that. Can't get what look? The natural bone? It's realistically, it's understanding the shading and lighting. And there's some texture underpainting in here, so it looks a little bit more bone-like. But it's really a lot of little picks. You just understand the shading and where to put it. I want to take this hat. I want to cut this out right here. I'm going to scoot that back. See, I started standing and painting, years of doing t-shirts in the malls, so I don't really have that issue. Like anything, it's muscle memory, it's practice. It'll just get better the more you do it. Okay, so now I want to pop this in right here. There we go. So now, like I said, nice drop shadow here. You'll see the skull will just kind of get a little further back. It's going to come all the way up here like this. I'm going to really darken under there. You'll see when I lift this off, the extra dimension that which is giving it in 2 seconds. It just pushed that to the foreground. Push this to the background. And now it's going to allow me to do white highlights and pop. But we talked about last week about getting texture. Have a reference. You see all those little like pits and things like that. That all helps you get like a natural looking texture. You know. Okay. So I think up here, come up here like this. Get that pushed back a little more. Oh, for posture. So, like right now I'm painting. Let's see if I can pop over here like this. And we'll take this off. So I'm in a chair right now, but this is a high. This is like an easel chair, tall chair. So it gives me the same like upward feel. Because when I sit in a low chair, I feel too locked in to paint to get motion. So I like an upright position. So a tall chair like this lets me kind of more vertical, and then I can paint like I'm standing while I'm sitting, and that helps the posture a little bit. Obviously, depending how the easel is going to be, how you're going to lean in. And you can use a maul stick. A lot of times I'll use my finger like this. You'll see me do this, and I'll rest as I paint. See, I'm dragging my hand a little bit. And that kind of helps, so you're not floating with your arms like that. So yeah, finding a comfortable position is kind of a key. Yeah, the full-size ones are nice, but get yourself some of these small guys. These are great. These are from Tim Lowry. And, you can get a couple, paint one white, paint one natural, paint one chrome, one black, and you can see what different light sources do. Always helps. I have some that are matte, like I have one that's up here that I don't, maybe I could get. This was a, shit, sorry. This was for sculptures. This is a really good one. This guy here. So it's a matte gray. Here's an opener color. This is a nice one. Because, something matte, something gloss are going to cast light different. So it depends what you're going for. Okay, let's go there, let's go here. So I got things pretty dark. I'm going to do one more thing. We'll shadow this. I'm going to go in for the finals. So I'm just going to take this. I'm going to add another 2 squirts of black. Now I can hit these deep areas with the darkest black. If this was a bigger painting, I probably wouldn't do dark black for another couple passes. But just to give you the idea, you can see how much it pushes things back when you go to that full 100% black. Now you get that pushed all the way back, and that nose socket just gets really deep. So see how this to this looks about the same? Watch, I'm going to put black just in this area and blend it out, and you'll see how much further this jawbone kind of goes back. Let me, I'll zoom in like Jim S there. Okay, so watch what happens. So this looks all flat. It looks like the same plane. But if I come in with the black here, I darken this, and I start blending this area out darker. Doesn't show as well there. When you get, see, I gotta stop messing with the camera and lighting. I can't. There we go. Now, see how far that pushed out? Just by doing that little bit. Same thing here. We'll push to the background. The further, the darker you get it, the more in the background it feels like it goes. Now I can come in this one, because this is more black, I can kind of carve more detail in here, because this is blue. Do some little damage. Do some damage on the hat. You guys can go on Etsy and get so many different skull castings from different people, different sizes, different types. There's so much out there. Alright, let's get some detail. Let's get some final like details in here. So now I'm going to get the brightest things I can get, and then I'll go in for like a final glaze pass on a few things, and we'll call it done. So basically wherever I want the most light, I'm going to hit it. You know, the party store ones are always so cheesy, I find, honestly. There are some great sculpts out there, some skulls you can get that aren't, like, cheesy. This was by far, like, the best, one of the best anatomical ones I ever bought, was this guy here. Yeah, because this one actually comes off, and there's the throat and the tongue. And the skull is separate. So this was a really good one. And the Tim Lavery one was outstanding as well. What I liked about this one, it went all the way, has the base. There's a couple 3D. One's called Skull Sketcher 3D. That one's a really good anatomical skull that you can position. And if you got a 3D printer, yeah, you can find so many. this is a good time, Rob, about you know, getting texture. You can use Gerald's texture effects. Get some bone texture here. That really helps sell that's a skull. These teeth sockets. Where'd you get it, Scott? Where'd I get what? Oh, this guy? Ah, man, I forget. Actually, I did a video on it like 3 or 4 years ago, if you look back. Oh, you know what? Here it is. It was part of the Kickstarter. It was clayboxworkshop.com. Anatomical sculpting bust. What this would be used for a lot of times is guys would sculpt directly on it, then pull all the clay off it afterwards and clean it. Yeah, this was really cool. It wasn't cheap, but it was awesome. And the eyes actually, like, you know, you can put like eyes in it, like, which is kind of fun. Like I said, this one was from Tim Lowry. These are nice. TimLowry.com. It has the bottom jaw. I don't have it on me. Some brights. And then we'll go into some final glazing. I'm going to call this thing. And then done. Well, I gotta do the bell too. Maybe we should do this. Let me pull the matchstick off. I really did want to do a pipe. I just didn't have time to design it. It would have been cool to have like a corncob pipe come down like this and have the fire come out of the pipe. Just keep doing some highlights. And you know, if you watch this video and then you go back to the skull one, you'll see all the different ways you can mess with this. What's happening, Aaron? Just getting towards the end. Some final highlights. Yeah, you can tell at different angles. It just hits different color tones. I really got to punch some red here. Oops. Let's get some other colors punched up here. And then we'll get this thing wrapped up. So, first things, let's get this red. Want to get this hat nice and red. Good night, guys. Are you making any skull templates? Yes. Yes, I actually have a set. I just got material. I got something coming. Not the pack of skulls. Pack of skulls is kind of in how they're going to be, but I have a new plan to make something to wrap the first year. They're going to have like the fold method. So you can like get things to really look more realistic. Basically, I'm going to make a set, so if you've watched me do these skull bites for the past year, the same method I'm using for that. Get that a little brighter red. Put a little black in this red. The red definitely looks a little brighter on camera. You can see it's richer from that angle. Here. Do some little wrinkles in here. It's not so smooth. Darken along that. Get really dark back here. Even these little, just some little striations and wrinkles, and just gives it a little extra character. I got some brown. I want to get some brown down on this bell. The only place we're going to have the brown. So we're going to get a little gold look here. I'm going to take that brown, I'm going to add a couple drops of black, make it darker, then a white highlight, and you'll get a nice simulated gold or kind of brass look. Darken the shadows, a little darker there. Yeah. And after this, I'm going to clean this bench off. I can work on some other fun stuff. I have to get these eyes nice and bright green. So I'm going to take my frog juice. Okay, frog juice time, get these eyes nice and green. No, we don't want that green on camera. Let me put another drop or two of the blue. There we go. Dude, this thing gets cleaned every week. My shop bench doesn't fuck, but I clean this thing after every painting. Because I'll go from painting this stuff to I'll go to my mini painting stuff. This thing is nicely organized. It cleans up actually pretty quick. I just don't clean it like when I did this painting last week. I wasn't going to clean it and restart. I don't clean my paintings. You crazy. I think I'm offended, sir. So I'm going back to my strong white here. A really white punch there. Go there. I know. And I gotta give it right back. My job. Pop off here. That's right. Now we'll do a little extra blue casting, I think. I wanted a La Valley one. I didn't see them on Coast. You wanted La Valley what? Oh, the La Valley airbrush. Yeah, those are awesome. Alright, so we're going to get a little bit more blue back in here. I'm going to call this puppy done. We're done for now. I think we're going to clear it. I'm going to add some more stuff to it. Get that nice blue, icy blue background. Remember, this is all pearl. This background is not black. It's all pearl. So it's going to sparkle like crazy when it's done. I wonder if I can get some light on it and show everyone. Yeah, let me see if I can back this off a little bit. Yeah, you can't tell. So this is KC10 wax and grease remover. So this will kind of simulate clear. And it should be dry enough so I don't mess it up. So now you can actually see it's all going to have blue sparkle inside everything. Yeah, see that? That's what's going to make it super cool. And maybe what I'll do, especially in those, in the antlers, so that's going to make it look really awesome. And maybe I'll put some extra pearl on top, but that really makes it look awesome. So by the way, yeah, House Color KC10 wax grease remover is my favorite for this. I usually don't spray it that hard, but I want to give you guys a good look at it. And I don't have a good, let me try to wipe this. Yeah, I'm going to use my microfiber because my paper towels will leave residue behind. So people wonder about what to wipe it down with. My favorite wiping down Createx is KC10 wax and grease remover. And use a good, lint-free towel. Don't use regular paper towels. A lot of times you'll get dust and debris on it. Last time I painted pearl. Cover the shimmer. The last time I used pearl, you put after cover. Yeah, so the shimmer's not gonna. You're not gonna have the shimmer here in the white because it's gonna cover it. So the key is not to overdo it with. If you're using transparents, it's fine. If you use the semi-opaques, you're gonna kill the shimmer. So it's where to put it. So transparents are the key. I'll show you again. So I made sure not to. I use that color a lot, but see, it shimmers, but it's not going to shimmer like where the white is. But it's by controlling, I don't lose it. So using semi-transparents is going to give you the best result. And I could always very gently mist a little bit of that pearl back on top at the end, but it's going to get on everything. So you're just going to play around with it. And I think with that, kiddies, this may be the last painting of 2025. I'll maybe try to get something in before the end of the year. We'll see what happens with next week's schedule. Have this shaken up. Where is there's one NOS on eBay. That one's not working. Yeah, let's try one of these Sharpies. These are actually working pretty well. gonna put a little white glow. Blue tint over that a little bit. Alright. And that, kiddies, I think, is gonna do it. What do you guys think of that? I think it's a cool looking project. It was a great way to go from the Joker from the original one and tweak it. I could still work this for, you know, another hour, couple hours, and just add more shading and detail. Maybe put some bright blue light off to the side. But you get the gist at this point. It's really just a matter of adding more as you go. I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. I want to thank everyone for this year and what we've done. A lot of projects. I'll do a recap video. Maybe that's probably next week. Maybe I won't even paint really anything, or I'll do something quick and recap all the year's paintings and bring them up on screen one by one. That could be a cool way to kind of close out the year. And I want to thank everyone for the super chats, for the members. We got so many members that have been here. A lot of green skulls, a lot more green skulls coming, so you've been here 2 years or more. Really, really appreciate that, and all you guys joining up. Don't forget your 25% off anything in the store, all the downloads and stuff, so really, really appreciate it. Thanks for all the support, super chats, and all the bids and people buying these paintings. And if anyone's interested in this afterwards, let me know. You can give me a buzz, message me off to the side if you're interested in this piece. This will get cleared. We can do a few extra touches to it and go from there. So, hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, and if I don't see you, have a Happy New Year, and look forward to 2026, and hopefully it's an even better year, and we'll go from there. Thanks everyone, have a great week, enjoy time with family, friends, don't drink too much, have a little fun, and I will see you all next